You're listening to The Marc Cox Show. Follow the show on Facebook. Facebook.com/The Marc Cox Show.
With what happened to them, and I was with him. Yes, he is, and he's been terrific. President Xi has been terrific on that subject, but that was not a good subject. That was not something that should have happened. Okay, folks, go rest.
Do you expect to see them coming home soon?
I hope so.
Can you say we might announce on?
That's the president on Air Force One just a short time ago. So I want to know when that headline is going to be the banner on CNN and all these other. I finally found a story of it on like the LA Times. So what did Donald Trump accomplish in China? He went over there and he got those derelicts from the UCLA basketball team released. He met with the Chinese premier and he said, listen, these are 19-year-old kids. They're freshmen. They're stupid. They shouldn't have done it. Please just fine them or something and let us bring them home. And sure enough, today, those 3 UCLA basketball players boarded a flight back to Los Angeles. LiAngelo Ball, one of those 3 ball kids out in L.A. whose dad's such a idiot, Jalen Hall and Cody Riley were seen at a Chinese airport checking in for a flight bound for L.A. They got caught shoplifting designer sunglasses that are anywhere from $400 to like $2,000 a pair. Now, if they just wait a year when they're in the NBA, they can afford that stuff. Why the hell would they have shoplifted them?
Or just go home and ask a booster to buy you some $400 shades. Come on.
Well, in this case, LiAngelo's brother could have bought him some $2,000 shades because he's in the NBA now.
Or just, go find the knockoff ones out of that trunk.
Yeah, that's true. They do have lots of
We've discussed about that
I know.
before,
They do that in New York all the time.
Yeah, they do that in a lot of places.
Now, I try to think of these. LeVar Ball, is that the dad's name? He was he was quoted as saying that his son was going to lead UCLA in steals this year. I guess he was right.
Did you make that
Please
up?
clap.
But I'm bummed.
Did you make that up? Oh, okay.
I saw a nice meme on that earlier. Sorry, I stole that material.
Sounded original.
From somebody. Didn't it? I thought so.
Very
But
original.
Hey, it's college basketball season, baby. Yeah. Tonight, my University of Kentucky Wildcats are going to take on the Jayhawks of Kansas up in Chicago. I wish I could be up there for the game, but I'll be rooting them on from around here somewhere at a drinking establishment that will not be named on the air. But anyway,
you're going to be at home.
That's where I'm going.
You're going to be at home?
As soon as I clear it with my wife,
Right.
I'll be drinking at home and watching a game. No,
there
no.
you go. In the man
I'm going to
cave.
go out and watch it. It's going to be a good game.
You got a UK man cave?
I do not. That's a goal.
Okay.
I still got kids living there. As soon as the last kid's gone,
okay, then
it's
you
done.
get the UK man
You
cave.
bet.
Okay.
Yep, you bet.
Cool.
We'll get that all decked out. That's for sure. Let's talk about Judge Roy Moore. Listen, today Sheila Jackson Lee was hammering Jeff Sessions about when he was going to charge Roy Moore, who at this point, there have only been allegations. Now, there have been multiple allegations, but at this point, there are only allegations that are 40 years old at the state level.
As you well know, Lee Kaufman, Wendy Miller, Debbie Watson Gibson, Gloria Thacker Deason, and Beverly Young Nelson, these young women have accused this individual, Judge Moore, who is running for a federal office, the United States Senate, of child sexual activity. Do you believe these young women?
I have no reason to doubt these young women.
And with that in mind, if you believe these young women, do you believe Judge Moore should be seated in the Senate if he wins? And would you introduce investigations by the DOJ regarding his actions?
We will evaluate every case as to whether or not it should be investigated. This kind of case would normally be a state case.
What difference at this point does it make?
No, Hillary was not there.
Mark, can we remind the audience that Sheila Jackson Lee is the congresswoman who asked the NASA administrator a few years ago if we still have a flag on Mars? Can we remind the audience?
Please feel free to remind the audience of that.
Do we still have a flag on Mars?
She's just grandstanding like she always does, but to be grilling him on that. Then she went on to ask, well, if he does get elected, Will you prosecute him after he gets to the Senate? Well, if he didn't commit a crime while he was a senator or in Washington, if he didn't commit a federal crime, no, Jeff Sessions isn't going to be investigating him. Silly.
And here's the shocking thing. Do you know that she's an attorney and she went to Yale and went to the University of Virginia Law School? That's frightening.
Yeah, just ignore that.
She's an attorney.
Yeah.
Asking, are you going to, this guy is accused of state charges, asking is the federal government going to prosecute him? And she's an attorney.
Yeah. So on the Judge Moore thing, Chris Arps has been hired by the Judge Moore campaign as a consultant.
No, I haven't.
No.
I'd be gone.
Hypothetically.
Okay.
Hypothetically. And then this news drops. After the first one, I could see you going out in front of the camera and saying that, these are unfounded allegations and blah, blah, blah. After the fifth one, I don't know how you do that anymore because you've got 5 separate instances of people who aren't sisters or cousins. They're 5 unrelated people making the same, pretty much the same allegation.
I've said on my Facebook page that I think it's up to the people of Alabama to ask him to leave. I think it's up to Judge Roy if he should leave. I just look at it though that it's not very credible, just his denials. If someone is accusing you as a man in your early 30s dating teenage girls, the answer that you give is not generally or no. You emphatically say, heck no, I don't date teenage girls. Nothing at all. It's denial.
So his answer to that question was pretty interesting. He said it on Hannity, that he had never dated anybody without asking their parents' permission, which is in the South, then a fairly normal occurrence. Not that you're dating 14-year-olds, but that you're getting the person's permission to take them out somewhere.
And I will say this, we're roughly about the same age, and you have to put things in context of the time. But I can remember I went to high school from 1980 to 84. And at that time, it was not unusual for girls who had permission to date to be dating guys that were in their early 20s, that were still in college, 21, 22. Not much far beyond that.
No, sure.
But nowadays, it's someone was 21, 22-year-old dating a 16 or 17-year-old, that would be out of the question.
That would be statutory.
Exactly. So I'm not condoning at all what he is alleged to have done, but I can see in a different time period if the female's parents said it's okay, and apparently in some of these instances he did get permission.
Sure, but forget all that for just a minute, and forget the fact that he's been in office for 40 years in Alabama. Nobody's ever brought any of this up before. None of these 5 women who didn't know each other ever brought any of this up before. Now that they brought it up, if he sticks in this race, and I guess he could win, but if he sticks in this race and he loses, the Republicans are down a seat in the Senate, and passing whatever they're trying to pass is that much more difficult. I don't know if you love your party, why, as angry as you would be about the allegations if you believed you were innocent, you'd need to do what was in the best interest of the party.
At this stage, with 2 weeks left, you gotta leave him on the ballot and hope that he wins, and hope that somehow maybe the pressure comes too great, or people say that you should resign, and he resigns, and he lets the governor reappoint somebody to that seat for a special election later. But I think you do more damage trying to get him out of there than
I guess if he won, he could then immediately resign, and then the Republican governor would appoint a replacement, which I'm now pushing for Jeff Sessions to get that job again, and then let Ted Cruz come in as Attorney General. Then we'll get some stuff done.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
Come on, you're on the Cruz camp. He'd be rough and tumble in there.
I'm going to say it one more time. The Clintons have too much dirt on too many people on both sides of the aisle. They will never be prosecuted.
Chicken crap.
That's Chris Arps, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Chris. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
It was great to see you at the Veterans Day Parade last weekend,
Had a great
too.
time. Thanks for allowing me to be there.
Oh, you bet. You and Becky. It was great to see you both. All right, good. Quick break, 314-969-9797.